Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Where do I even begin with this movie? It's messy. I have very mixed feelings on this movie, so let's talk about that. It's been a little over a year since it's come out, and I figured maybe I'd take a look at it. I regret it. Fun fact, this is the only movie I've ever seen opening night. Went with 5 of my friends, and we went out for supper before seeing it. It was a pretty good night. When I walked out of that theater at the end of the night, I first thought to myself, yeah, it was an alright movie. I'd see that again. And that's pretty much been my stance on the movie ever since. It's completely okay, but this is a Star Wars movie. It's not supposed to just be alright. It's supposed to be really good. And I mean, all 3 prequels are kind of really terrible, but I love them to bits. They are truly terrible movies, though. Force Awakens is decent, but it was really good at the time, just to get people back into Star Wars after the wreck that was the prequels. Also, not a lot of people watched Clone Wars, so they didn't really have anything for the last 10 years. I don't remember, doesn't matter. Rogue One was awesome though, and The Last Jedi was just meh. Solo was good though, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm getting sidetracked. Again. Last Jedi had the potential to be the greatest Star Wars movie ever made. It could have been better than Empire. Obviously it's not even close, but it could have been. Force Awakens left us with so many questions that could have been explored in really interesting ways, but The Last Jedi just left us with nothing. There's no hype for the new one. I don't care about Episode 9. And that hurts to say, but I don't know. This movie's just designed to be frustrating. It only subverts my expectations by just being mediocre. That just makes me sad. But that's what this video is about. How The Last Jedi could have been better. And if they just changed a few things, it could have been so much better. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm just going to be going through every scene, and I'm just going to say what I think could have made the movie a lot better. I'm going to keep the plot more or less the same, and just change a few minor things that could have made the movie so much better. If you don't agree with me, I don't really care. Don't at me. This is just my opinion. Also, Disney, please don't copyright me for this. So what better place to start tearing this movie apart than the very beginning, which is coincidentally my least favorite scene in this whole movie, and one of my least favorite in all of Star Wars. I can't fathom this scene. This is the worst space battle in all of Star Wars. Period. It's worse than Anakin attacking the Trade Federation control ship in Phantom Menace. And that scene's awful. That's really saying something. The First Order just lets Poe sit there and joke, and then they just let him attack the Dreadnought, and Captain Kennedy, or whatever his name is, he's the only one that knows, he knows exactly what Poe's doing, and he just lets him do it. Also, the Resistance bombers are the dumbest ships ever put into a Star Wars movie. They're stupid in every way. They're slow, impractical, and they don't make any sense. Gravity is not effective in space. Whatever happened to the Y-Wings? You're telling me that every ship in this universe stayed with roughly the same design, but they just yoked the Y-Wing out the window? Those ships were in use since the Clone Wars, and they were fantastic. During this whole scene as the Dreadnoughts attack, the Resistance is escaping. There's 3 Star Destroyers just sitting there. Maybe it's not 3, I don't remember, but regardless. And then the Resistance doesn't even think taking out a fleet killer is a victory. The scene's awful. Yeah, calm down. So how could this scene have been better? First off, either get rid of the Dreadnought or get rid of the Star Destroyers. Having them both puts too many variables into the mix. Also, adding more ships will increase the likelihood that the Resistance is destroyed, when they're not, it gets more frustrating. If the First Order were smart, they'd send the entire fleet, but they're not, so whatever. Have the Resistance combat the First Order ship, whether it's a Star Destroyer or a Dreadnought, with a full frontal assault, with Y-Wings instead of these stupid things. Also make it a good fight. That would have been good. The movie then moves on to see Rey, and her handing the lightsaber back to Luke, and him just yeeting it off a cliff. I don't like this. If he just handed it back and then walked off, instead of just yeeting it off a cliff, that would have been much better. Also, Luke should have mourned Han. They filmed them mourning him, but we never got to see it in the movie, and that's stupid. We get to see him milking titties, but we don't get to see him mourning his friends. I hate this movie. But other than that, I actually like this scene, and I quite like the scene with Snoke and Kylo after. After we cut back to Rey and Luke from Snoke and Kylo, we get to see Luke's daily routine. Yay! The movie should have instead made Luke want to teach Rey, but about why the Jedi and Sith should end instead of reluctantly half-teaching her some things. Back on the Resistance ship, Leia and Poe are both being morons. Poe disobeyed direct orders, but Leia barely does anything to punish him. And then the First Order attacks, and this happens. I don't think I need to explain why this is dumb. Leia just should have died in this scene, especially after Carrie Fisher passed away. Rest in peace. Also, they shouldn't have killed Akbar. Whatever, we then cut back to Octo. I don't know. where Chewie is being made into a joke. It really annoys me when Chewie's being treated as just a dumb animal. He's not. He's a person. He doesn't speak English. Honestly, Solo is the best way in any movie that Chewie is portrayed. He's treated as a person with actual motivations and desires. Whatever. Luke then sneaks onto the Falcon and talks to R2. It really annoys me that this little scene is the only thing R2 does anything in this movie. R2 is my favorite character in all of Star Wars, and he doesn't do anything in this or Force Awakens. Whatever. Luke agrees to train Rey, and we cut back to the Raddus. Alright, now Holdo gets introduced, and where does one start with her? I think they should have replaced her with Akbar, but if they decided to go with a new character, she should have at least worn an actual uniform instead of being dressed like a white suburban soccer mom. Also, Holdo's a moron. She leads the entire resistance on to what they believe could be their deaths for no reason. I get maybe not telling the specifics of their plan, but she could literally just say, oh yeah, we've got a plan, but I'm not going to tell you just in case the First Order hears about it. That's it. Most of the problems with this movie would be solved. Instantly. Whatever. Then the movie cuts back to Finn trying to escape. This is also the first scene that Rose is in, and when I first watched this movie, my first thought about her was, oh my god, I love her. She's adorable. She's really good. And I honestly still think that about this scene. This scene is great. But that changes quickly. I really don't like Rose. But she's cute in this scene. This scene's good. But when they're walking away and Finn is stunned, they figure out how the First Order is tracking them through lightspeed. Like, to the letter, how they're tracking them. And that's really stupid, because if it was that easy, lightspeed tracking would have been possible before now. So to fix this, Finn and Rose should be the ones to figure out that they're being tracked through lightspeed. Just to figure out that they're being tracked, not how. Then they could go to Holdo, or whoever's in charge, and have them go to Canto Bight to find the hacker so they can sneak aboard the Supremacy and find out how they're tracking them. That way you wouldn't have to shoehorn in Maz Kanata, which is dumb. I don't like that she's shoehorned in. We then go back to Ahch-To, and we get another really good scene with Rey and Kylo, and we get to see Rey training, sort of. I don't know why, but Daisy Ridley's acting in this line, and this line only, is really bad.
Master Skywalker, we need you to bring the Jedi back because Kylo Ren is strong with the dark side of the Force. Without the Jedi, we won't stand a chance against him.
I don't know why. She's a fine actor. She's fine everywhere else in the movie. But say what you will about Rey and Daisy Ridley, she's a good actress. Rey's just not the best character. Right, then Luke hits Rey with some grass, and then we get a pretty cool scene. Then Chewie's made into a joke again, and we get another Rey and Kylo bit. And then we cut to Canto Bight. Oh boy. I think the planet of Canto Bight is pretty cool, like a casino world. That's pretty neato, if you know what I mean. But everything that happens on it's stupid. If a major plot point of a Star Wars movie is a parking violation, something is horribly wrong. I don't even want to talk about this scene. The horses are dumb, Rose is annoying. I'm going to come back to the scene in a bit, so just hold this thought for a second. The movie cuts back to Rey training with the lightsaber, and it's pretty good. We get another lesson, and this one's pretty good too. To be honest, the training scenes are the best parts of the movie, even though they kinda disrespect Luke as a character. I'm gonna come back to that, but first I've gotta get through the rest of Canto Bight. Okay, time to finish up Canto Bight. Thank God, but I'm not even gonna go over this scene. You know it's bad. If you think it's good, you're an idiot. I'm sorry, but this scene is awful. So I'm just gonna go over how to fix it, starting from when they first arrive. So have them land properly in a parking stall and have them go find the hacker. The hacker could still be DJ, but just make him the guy they were looking for to begin with. Finn and Rose could look around as normal, but have Rose equally as curious as Finn. Also, no stupid horses. Have them find DJ, and have them go escape the police. But make it, good and not a stupid race. I don't know how you could get them in trouble, but it doesn't really matter. Have them escape in the stolen ship, and it would have been fine. Moving on back to Ahch-To. This whole bit is really good. I don't hate that Luke almost killed Ben. People always say, Luke would never kill anybody, he's a pure boy. But no, he would. He totally would. Now, murdering his nephew in the middle of the night is very uncharacteristic. Yes, I agree, but people seem to forget the most important fact. He didn't actually do it. He didn't even try to do it. He just ignited the lightsaber, and then he immediately regretted it. He looked at it, was like, oh god, I've made a horrible mistake. And then he put the lightsaber back. Whatever, we get some cool stuff, and then we got more Kylo Rey, and then you get the dark side cave, and Luke and Rey fight, and then Rey leaves. Then Yoda shows up, and it's pretty good. We then get a decent scene about morality aboard Finn and Rose's ship. I don't hate this bit. Back aboard the Raditz, Holdo is still being an idiot. All she has to say is, yes, we have a plan, and all the pointless conflict in this movie could be resolved. Easily. Honestly, most of the biggest problem with this movie are just Holdo being an idiot. The movie could have been way better if she wasn't pointlessly stupid. Whatever. Then we get a cool shot of Rey shooting herself at the Supremacy in an escape pod, and Poe starts a mutiny, which is completely justified. I don't really have any complaints about Snoke, but right after Leia shoots Poe and they're loading him onto the transport, why do Leia and Holdo say they like him? He just held a mutiny. He's done nothing but act against you this entire movie. Whatever. I hate Holdo so much. I have nothing against Laura Dern, because she was in Jurassic Park, but I do really hate Holdo. Whatever, I don't really have a lot of complaints about this bit. I like this part well enough. Then they kill Snoke. I actually really like Snoke's death scene. I think it's great. I would have liked some kind of backstory, but I don't absolutely need one. Palpatine didn't get one either. But I don't think Snoke should have died in this movie. You should have saved it for the next one. Whatever. This is what we got. But that's not important. Then we get the Praetorian Guard fight. This part's great. But immediately after is the biggest issue I have with this movie. And here's where I'm going to make the plot deviate significantly. Rey should have accepted Kylo's offer to join him. When I was in the theater, I was mentally begging for her to accept it. I was going to be like, oh shit, do they actually have the balls to do this? Please don't be a fake out. Please don't be a fake out. Please don't be a fake out. And it's a fake out. This is why we can't have nice things, Disney. It doesn't even make sense that she doesn't accept his offer. All she's ever wanted to be a part of something bigger than her. And now that someone is giving her that chance, she rejects it. Especially if her parents are nobody, which is honestly a change I like. It would have redeemed pretty much everything with this movie. So have her accept her. That's what we're changing. Moving on. Then we get the Lightspeed Ram. Oh dear God, that's cool. This is a slight deviation from the main point, but when I was in the theater during the scene, and everyone was quiet, one of my friends whispered loudly enough for the entire theater to hear, "Why is there no sound?" I will never let her live that down. But regardless, I don't get why people keep saying that this scene ruins all of space combat. I really don't. Why would you want to continuously smash ships into one another? That's kind of stupid. Whatever, I don't want to talk about this scene. There's so much worse immediately after. This whole fight in the hangar is very dumb. BB-8 ripping an AT-ST's head off is dumb. Phasma and Finn's fight is dumb. Rose is still dumb. Cutting the deleted scene where the stormtroopers see Phasma as weak is dumb. It's all just stupid. Just make this scene not suck, that's my only suggestion. Right, now we go to Crate. I think the Battle of Crate is pretty good at the beginning. Poe and BB-8 reuniting is adorable. The visuals are amazing in this scene, and overall it's a cool battle, even if not much happened. It's just really good. And then Rose continues to be an idiot. Saving Finn is stupid, you all know that. I'm not going to waste time talking about it. So imagine if Finn actually died blowing up the battering ram cannon and the First Order was forced to attack on foot. Then we could get something like Hoth. I mean, Crate is basically salty Hoth, and we could get the trench warfare stuff. Imagine the whole army descending on the Resistance with Kylo and Rey in the lead. The Resistance would be screwed. And then Luke could show up, and we could have another hologram fight while the Resistance escapes on the Falcon. Except it would be Rey and Kylo against Luke. But it's still a hologram. I actually really like the hologram fake out, but it annoys me that Luke dies at the end of it. To be honest, this is the only way I would ever accept Luke dying. Dying like this, staring into the sun, while the music plays, is amazing. He just didn't need to die. It's just unnecessary. So after Luke fakes Kylo and Rey out in our future alternate reality movie, Luke realizes he's being a prick and decides to help the Resistance. The Resistance escapes in the Falcon, but instead of everybody smiling and celebrating, they're freaking out. You know the ending of Infinity War, specifically this bit?
Oh God.
Yeah, imagine the Resistance doing that. That would give people some excitement for Episode 9. The Resistance completely lost, Rey has gone to the dark side, Finn is dead, and there's like 20 Resistance soldiers left. That's it. Episode 9 could be what's left of the Resistance, trying to turn Rey and Kylo back to the light and trying to take on the First Order. I think that would have been pretty good. So that about wraps this video up. I don't know if I made any sense, or I don't know if you agreed with me, but that's just what I thought could have made The Last Jedi better. I don't completely hate it as it is, but I don't really like it either. It's mediocre. Here's my ranking of Star Wars movies as Star Wars movies, and here's my ranking of Star Wars movies as movies, taking without context for the rest of the franchise. Goodbye.